Good morning. My name is Amir Morgan. Today I'll be presenting on Adobe's Technology Business Challenge. Here's our agenda. Today we'll be going over the executive summary, primary challenges, solution options, implementation approach, communication strategy, and any questions at the end. It is recommended that Adobe fulfill their current contract with Textio, then switch to either Televista or OnGig, which are similar technologies and have more capabilities than Textio. Currently, the company is looking at implementing a CRM, and the technology team has emphasized that they are trying to also build in a similar solution within that CRM discovery to see if there's another way for them to get this same functionality as Textio within a CRM. This will result in Adobe being able to, one, fulfill their contract with Textio through November of 2022. So they won't have to break the contract. They can the business won't have to change or switch anything up. There's been a lot of change recently within the organization, so we really don't want to add on to that change fatigue that's already going on. And currently, this will allow us to just run the course with Textio. They do a new roadmap every 6 months. So this allows the team to discuss with Textio what's on their current roadmap to see if they're able to solve for the original problems and also just run the course with the current contract. At the same time, this allows Adobe ample time to vet both Televista and OnGig to see which of the two would be the best solution for the company. Having a full year to do a full RFP to see which of the two works, have demos, have them come in, do some demos for the team, have the policy and have the legal and privacy team do their review to see if the assessments work. That gives them that's what will happen in place over the course of this time between now and when the contract ends in 2022. Both Televista and OnGig would solve the current business need for a tool that analyzes job descriptions and it easily integrates into Workday. So now we'll go into explaining the primary challenges and then get into the actual tools themselves and what I learned throughout this process. So the primary challenges. In the beginning, I learned that the Textio isn't capable of doing full reporting capabilities, so there's no way for the team to easily pull data from Textio and bring it into Workday and store it in the system. That's another key thing. One, to store the score that each requisition has in Workday itself, so there's one source of truth. And then with the original proposed plan from Textio of a full integration with Workday, they pivoted midway through the process, said, oh no, we're not doing a Workday integration. Now we do everything through a Chrome extension, which either with Chrome or Edge, which is a problem for Adobe because all their employees and hiring managers who use the tool don't primarily use Chrome, and there's no plan on their roadmap at Textio currently to put Safari or any other web browser with it to have the same integration. So those are the primarily two major challenges that I was trying to solve up front throughout this process. Solution number one. Our tech team was trying to decide if there was a custom API support. So with the custom API, Adobe's tech team would be able to pull data directly from Textio and bring it into Workday. But unfortunately, through the process of learning more about Textio does not have a custom API. There's no capabilities within their system to bring data from their product to another. So this alleviated option one up front for the team as a possible workaround within Textio and Workday. And these are some of the partners currently working with Textio. I know it was really important to the director to understand which of our competitors are also using this tool and where are they most often using a similar tool like a Textio. And right now it does look like the Slack and Apple and eBay, which are some of our major competitors with Adobe, are also using Textio to review their job descriptions. And then there's OnGig. OnGig is a software that can eliminate bias in job postings and can optimize the text so that passive candidates engage with the company and can apply. The tool, they were founded in 2011. They're located currently in Oakland, California. The tool analyzer identifies words that have racial, disability, gender, or age bias. Some of their features include they integrate with Workday. They have the capability to store the score on the requisition. They have reporting functionalities that come directly into Workday. Some of the key stakeholders that would be impacted by this change would be the talent operations team, the EX tech team, the global talent leadership team, global talent operations, hiring managers as well. The cost for this product would be an annual fee of either a 1-year contract for $159,000, or if Adobe was to go into a 5-year contract, annually they would pay about $94,000 a year, and that's based on unlimited users and unlimited content. And here's a little breakdown between what Textio has versus OnGig. So while both of them are text analyzers for job description, Textio primarily just kind of tries to remove bias for age, gender, and ability bias only, while OnGig focuses on way more things such as gender, race, elitism, age, LGBTQ, neurodiversity, mental health, and ability bias. So there's a little bit more that's being tracked with OnGig versus Textio. Textio does use measures language impact, while OnGig measures language impact, but they use it through a dashboard. So each of the users will be able to actually track to see how the data is changing over time based on when they're putting in their job descriptions. Textio lacks the functionality of reporting. Textio lacks the ability to store scores on Workday, and they primarily only have a Chrome extension over Workday integration. While OnGig has the Workday integration, you can store the scores within Workday, and there is reporting functionality directly from Workday so that the talent teams can actually track to see how well their job descriptions are doing in the market, as well as being able to see what their score, making sure each rec has the score of a 90 or above, which is the approved score by Adobe, to ensure that their scores are meeting the market. And some OnGigs, again, these are some of their clients and brands and who they currently work with. Solution number 3, Televista. Televista analyzes job descriptions and identifies problematic words shown in research to detract underrepresented applicants from applying. They were founded in 2018 and they're currently located in San Diego, California. Some of their features include a Workday integration, they have reporting functionality, and they have a built-in resume screening capabilities. The stakeholders that will be primarily impacted by this change if Adobe was to select Televista would include their talent operations team, EX technology team, the global talent leadership team, hiring managers, and global talent as a whole. The cost to implement this product would be an annual subscription of about $59,000 for every 3,000 jobs, $67,000 for every 4,000 jobs, and $74,000 for every 5,000 jobs. So while OnGig focuses more on just users and it's unlimited users and content, and it's not based on the number of jobs actually posted, Televista is primarily focused just on the number of jobs that are actually going through and being posted by the company. Implementation for Televista would be about 6 weeks. That would include the configuration time by Televista, training, testing, discovery, and then also enablement by the Adobe team and building out resources. Okay, so let's compare Televista and Textio. While Textio, as I mentioned previously, primarily focuses on age, gender, and ability bias, Televista addresses bias around gender, race, and ability, and going further than Textio to confront racial bias. Televista is 100% research-based, where Textio runs on a machine learning. Televista does not incorporate unreliable crowdsourcing or scanning of old job descriptions fraught with bias inherent in the AI design process. They do have a broader integration that goes within Workday and other ATS systems. They are able to store their score on the requisition, which is a big ask for Adobe, as well as clear reporting functionality within Workday, so Adobe is able to pull the data and report out on what they're seeing with the job descriptions. And Televista goes a step further, where Textio and OnGate both primarily stay in the attraction stage of the process of pulling in talent. Televista goes into the attracting stage, the screening stage with their blind resume reviewing, and the selection process as part of the interview stage. And three of their main top users are Raytheon Technologies, Southern Company Gas, and Walgreens. So if we want to look at all three going across to see really how they compare and match up together, so they all do text analyzing of a job description, right? That's great. Well, OnGate and Textio are primarily run on machine learning tools, which, to the point that I just mentioned, AI can have its own inherent bias, which could kind of be a challenge. Where on the flip side, Televista primarily is research-based, so we know it's backed and evidence-based and is going to actually make a difference because it's been tested and retested in the market. OnGate and Televista both integrate well with Workday. They have the functionality to do reporting, Workday functionality to do reporting. You have the capability of storing the score. It addresses bias beyond gender, age, and ability for both OnGate and Televista. And Televista is actually the only one that goes beyond the attraction stage. And as I mentioned before, also has the ability to support a company with screening of candidates with the resume blind review, as well as the interview and selection process. And here's what real success will look like for implementing this tool. So there's three key ways where Adobe could try to figure out, was this a good implementation and is it successful? One is through candidate feedback. Adobe could, in their candidate feedback form that they send out to all the candidates, within the question of understanding inclusiveness and belongingness within the process, they can add this as a step to see what's a question around the job description. Was the language, did the candidate feel like the language wasn't too aggressive or too biased in any way, one direction or the other? That way, at least we know from the onset what the candidate experience is and how they're being impacted by this tool, and if the tool is actually giving Adobe what they really need. And then we'll look at a usage report. This is just clear adoption. This will tell Adobe, are people actually using the tool like it was intended to be used? They can be a report generated directly from the selected tool to provide data on the number of job descriptions that have been analyzed, and that can be cross-referenced with Workday to see how many jobs are actually currently being posted, and this will give clear data on the adoption of the tool. And then finally, the great thing about both tools is there are analytics within them that can be pulled to give success metrics as it relates to gender bias score improvements. Research has shown that including more feminine themed language in a job description or minimizing masculine themed language in a job description results in greater interest among potential women applicants. This could also provide Adobe with a competitive analysis of how their job descriptions are doing in the market compared to their competitors. So if they were to choose either OnGig or Televista, they would get this additional analytics from the tool that is generally going to tell them, is this implementation successful, or is it actually doing what it says it's supposed to do? So let's look what implementation would look like. Phase 1 would determine which solution provides the greatest benefit to the company. And then within that, they would need to conduct a legal and privacy review of the selected tool. Phase 2, the Talent Ops PM would partner with the X team to meet with the vendors for a demo. Phase 3, the Talent Ops PM and the X would work with the vendor on Workday integration and configuration. And then in Phase 4, once the configurations are complete, Talent Ops team will work with the enablement team to train global talent team on how to use the new tool and any updates that will be needed to the HCM. And here's what I would think would be the communication plan. First, there would be, as I'm currently doing, I would need to present the proposed plan to Director of Operation. After that, the PM would need to present the proposed plan to the global talent talent team leadership so they can get buy-in and their approval on the actually moving forward. And after all those approvals, the talent ops team would be responsible for creating the resources and training materials to educate the business on the new tool. Let's talk about next steps and if there are any questions. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope you will move forward with this proposed solution.